Okay, it's recording.
Oh,
Hi, Mr. Brown. How are you?
I'm doing great. Noah, how are you?
You don't have to use my government name. Everybody knows me as Reese.
Sorry. How are you doing, Reese?
I'm good. Um, so this is the first time we're meeting, and I've already did the first video, but
Okay.
this will just be the introduction. So we're supposed to talk about like lessons that I will teach, and right now
Okay.
I'm going to be doing health for like maybe the next. I'm thinking of recording twice next week because we're doing. I'm going to teach one lesson, one review lesson, and then I'm going to do a test, and then I'm switching schools. So
All right. So before you start, can you tell me the subject and grade level that you teach?
yeah, right now I'm teaching 12th grade health, but
12th grade health. Okay.
after next week I will be going back to kindergarten.
Okay. All right.
So it's going to be a little bit of both, but I'm mainly just trying to get the videos out of the way. It has nothing to do
Okay.
with anything. It's just really meeting the clinical requirements for each video. It doesn't matter what I'm teaching, actually, as long as I'm in the classroom
Okay.
and doing my thing. So yeah, basically that's what I'm going to teach. And then this past video I taught stress techniques.
Okay.
The next one is going to be a review class, and that'll be a combination of chapter 1 and chapter 2. So there's a lot of different things that the students have already learned.
And is this review getting them ready for the assessment?
Yeah, I'm gonna give them an assessment on Wednesday, and Tuesday they're gonna have a review class.
So what did you teach prior to stress?
So chapter, I don't even have it pulled up. Hold up. I don't even remember.
And how many weeks is each lesson?
Right now I kind of just go with the flow because they don't know a lot of English. Here. They don't know a lot of English. So the first one is taking charge of your health. This is like an introduction health class, and this one took us a long time. So we went over different things, but the one thing they really know well is dimensions of wellness, and health versus wellness was like the whole takeaway from this. What is wellness and what is health, and then the differences between the two and how they're linked. And then life expectancy was included, and
Okay.
how to basically manage how
Excuse me.
every portion of our life pretty much is linked to our health, our financial wellness, our emotional wellness, our relationship wellness, all of those different things, they play a part in how our health is going.
And these lessons that you're teaching, are they aligned with the curriculum,
We don't have a
the
curriculum.
school's curriculum?
We don't have a curriculum. We didn't even have a book. So I use
Oh, really?
I book on Taobao, and I've just been using the book to teach. And then for the sake of this program, I've aligned it with certain curriculum standards from the U.S. that I think kind of align with
Okay.
what I'm teaching.
Okay.
So that's that. And then I don't know if you saw the learning standards. I think I could share my screen though. Hold on.
Yeah, I seen standard one. Number one is the learner development.
Yeah.
And that's your first lesson? Your
Yeah.
first lesson had to cover the standard one?
The first lesson will focus on that. So that's basically the way you're going to grade the entire lesson using the standard, I believe. But the first one is the one that we're supposed to focus on in our lessons, and that'll be the next video. Yeah. So, and then the objectives, I've used the book to create the objectives for each
standard.
Each lesson plan, each standard, yeah. So the first video, I don't know if we have to talk about it right now, but I've listed those out in the lesson plan as well. And basically my classroom expectations for the first class, actually my students are pretty engaged in health right now, which is, I think is pretty good. It's pretty fun for me. They seem very interested, but they don't talk very much and they don't talk very loud. Pretty much they know all the answers to the questions that I ask, even if they're a little bit more challenging. So they don't know how to phrase their own answers though. So a lot of times I might. So not for this class. The lesson that I did on the video, you're not going to see that because this lesson was an activity lesson. So we just did stuff off of everything that they've already learned. But in general, when I teach the class, I often will let them read something and try to summarize it in their own words so that we can have some sort of answer for the class of like what this is. So it might be a certain type of model, and then they will read it, and I'll put them in two groups, and each group will come up with an answer for what this model is. Two different models. Okay. And then they'll come
I do have a question. If I were to walk into a classroom from the beginning to the end, what would I see? So, like, can you run me through your typical classroom, one period?
So
starting from the beginning of class to the end of class.
They have a class before my class, so I can't go in the class and prepare the classroom to get them ready.
No, I'm telling. Okay.
I'm just giving you the run through. Basically, I go into the classroom, and I have a PowerPoint on the board, and then we'll start off with the discussion questions, and then after the discussion question, I'll either get into the lesson. Most of the time, it'll be a short lesson, and then we'll have some activity to go along with the lesson.
Okay. And how do you end class?
It depends on the timing, but most of the time I like to do an exit ticket, which is what I did in the last video.
All right.
So yeah. And as far as the expectations, I pretty much just expect them to be on task and listening. So there are times when I have to tell the kids to put their phones away, or to focus on me, or to stop talking.
And what are your procedures for that? As far as rules.
I don't have a procedure for that, to be honest. I just tell them to stop. And then if they do it again,
and what happens if they don't?
I ask them to stop. And then the next time I either ask them to leave the classroom or I take whatever it is that they have.
Okay.
So, but pretty much I only have to tell them once. I do expect them to come to class prepared with their books. But that took me a long time to get in place, like 3 weeks. It took me 3 weeks of telling them to go get their books for them to finally realize that they have to bring their books to class. So,
the student knows the rules and the procedures in the class.
Yeah, but it took me a long time to really get them in that mode because our school is not really, I feel like the kids don't take it that serious. There's only like 40 students altogether, so they don't really take it that serious, and it makes it a lot more challenging on the procedural and rule side. So I spent a lot of time in all my classes trying to get them to understand that they are young adults and they have to take responsibility and be a part of this learning process. So yeah. I think that's it though. For this one. Do you have any other questions? The learning standard, the units, the objectives, the classroom expectations?
Yeah, I know we're not talking about your lesson right now, but can you tell me the objectives you have for your lesson? Just really briefly.
Yeah, hold on. I need to pull it up. Oh, my objectives. The first one is I can put them in the chat box, but it's explain what stress is, describe their relation. The students will be able to explain what stress is, describe the relationship between stress and health, list common sources of stress, describe and apply techniques for managing stress, explain the health-related benefits of sleep and the consequences of disrupted sleep. We didn't get to that the last class though.
And okay, we will discuss it. We'll discuss it in the next video.
Okay, hold on. I put it in the chat box.
All right, perfect.
Okay, let me stop this recording.